You think it's an honor being chosen by Professor Oak to be one of the 3 Pokemon given to new trainers? Think again, we're basically rental Pokemon, temporary teammates, the tutorial companions that get boxed the moment something cooler shows up. And trust me, something cooler always shows up. Let me paint you a picture. A 10-year-old walks into Oak's lab. They look at me, Charmander, and Squirtle. You know what they're thinking? They're not thinking about friendship or bonding or any of that anime nonsense. They're thinking about which one of us will be most useful until they catch something better. Usually, they pick Charmander because Fire Dragon cool. Then there's me, the walking vegetable that nobody wants unless they're trying to beat Brock easily. Here's what they don't tell you in trainer school. Most of us starters never see the Elite Four. We're lucky if we make it past the 3rd gym. You know why? Because by then, our trainers have caught a Geodude or a Pidgey that evolved into Pidgeotto, or literally anything that looks cooler than a bulb with legs. We get sent to the PC box with a pat on the head and a "thanks for the help, buddy." The statistics are brutal. Only about 15% of starter Pokemon make it to the final team. 15%! You have better odds of finding a shiny Pokemon than staying on your trainer's team as a starter. But sure, keep telling us how special we are. Charmander thinks he has it better because he becomes a dragon-looking thing. Cute. You know what happens to most Charmanders? They evolve into Charmeleon, become disobedient because the trainer doesn't have enough badges, and get boxed for being too difficult. Then the trainer catches a Growlithe or a Vulpix and suddenly fire coverage is handled. Charizard? Most Charmanders never see that evolution. They're sitting in someone's PC as a level 23 Charmeleon, wondering where it all went wrong. Squirtle has his own problems. Water types are everywhere. Everywhere. You can't walk 5 feet in any Pokemon region without tripping over a fishing rod. Why keep your starter Squirtle when you can catch a Gyarados, or a Starmie, or literally any of the 100 water types that don't remind you of your awkward beginning as a trainer? Squirtle knows this. That's why he hides in his shell. It's not defense, it's depression. But let me tell you about the real pain. It's not just being replaced. It's the lie we're told from the start. Professor Oak stands there with his stupid lab coat telling trainers we're rare and special and that we form unbreakable bonds with our trainers. Unbreakable? I've been traded for a Farfetch'd. A Farfetch'd. It's literally a duck holding a stick, and my trainer thought it was an upgrade. You want to know what's worse? The pity evolution. That's when your trainer feels bad about never using you, so they grind you up to your final evolution just to complete the Pokedex. No love, no care, just mindless rare candy stuffing until you hit Venusaur. Then back to the PC you go, except now you're taking up more box space. Chikorita from Johto knows my pain. Grass starter in a region where the first 2 gyms are flying in bug? It's like Game Freak wanted her to fail. She tries so hard, using Razor Leaf against Faulkner's birds, getting destroyed every time. By the time trainers reach Azalea Town, they've already caught a Geodude or a Hoot Hoot. Chikorita gets benched before she even has a chance to shine. Cyndaquil tells me stories about trainers who pick him because he's cute, then immediately regret it when they realize Johto is full of rock and ground types in the early game. You know what beats rock types? Not a tiny fire mouse, that's for sure. So Cyndaquil gets replaced by whatever fighting type the trainer can find, usually a Heracross if they're lucky. Totodile might be the only Johto starter with a fighting chance, but even he gets replaced by better water types. Johto has Lantern, Quagsire, and the red Gyarados. Why would anyone keep a dancing crocodile when they could have a shiny sea serpent? The Hoenn starters thought they had it figured out. Trico said, "I'll be the cool one." Torchic said, "I'll be the strong one." Mudkip said, "I'll be the one everyone likes." You know what happened? Trico gets destroyed by Team Magma and Aqua's poison types. Torchic becomes another fire fighting type in a generation full of them. And Mudkip, okay, Mudkip actually does pretty well, but that just makes the rest of us feel worse. Sinnoh is where things get really insulting. Turtwig is a grass type in a region covered in snow. Chimchar is competing with Rapidash and Houndoom. Piplup turns into a steel type, which sounds cool until you realize Lucario exists and is way more popular. We're not even the coolest Pokemon of our own types in our own region. Unova tried to reset things. These starters will be the only Pokemon of their types for a while, they said. Great plan, except Snivy is terrible in-game. Tepig becomes another firefighting type that everyone's sick of, and Oshawott exists. By the time trainers can catch other Pokemon, they're so frustrated with their starters that they'll take literally anything else. Kalos gave us Fennekin, who becomes Psychic type and immediately gets outclassed by Gardevoir and Alakazam. Chespin becomes Grass, Fighting, which sounds unique until you realize it has 6 weaknesses. Froakie does well, but only because it becomes a ninja. The bar is so low that turns into a ninja is considered a win for starters. Alola tried something different with Rowlet, Litten, and Popplio. Rowlet becomes a ghost type, which is cool until you realize it's too slow to use its typing effectively. Litten becomes another fire dark type, like we needed more of those. Poplio becomes a fairy type, which helps, but most trainers have already caught an actual fairy type by then. Galar gave us Grookey, Scorbunny, and Sobble. They tried to make us relevant with Gigantamax forms. Cute. You know what else can Gigantamax? Everything. We're not special anymore. We're just a Pokemon you're forced to take before you can catch what you really want. Paldea is the latest insult. Sprigatito, Fuecoco, and Quaxley. They don't even try to hide it anymore. The game gives you access to almost every Pokemon from the start. We're literally just placeholders until you find something better. I heard a trainer say they only kept their Sprigatito until they caught a Smoliv. A Smoliv. It's a literal olive, and it's considered an upgrade from a starter. You know what the real tragedy is? We're designed to be perfect partners. We have balanced stats, useful move pools, and we're literally engineered to grow alongside new trainers. But that doesn't matter when a wild Garchomp shows up, or a Lucario, or any pseudo-legendary that makes us look like the tutorial Pokemon we really are. Some of us get lucky. We end up with trainers who care about the journey more than the destination. Trainers who see value in the Pokemon that started it all with them. But most of us? We're warming the bench in someone's PC, watching through the storage system as our trainers win badges with their real team. The anime lies to you. Ash's Pikachu isn't a starter, and look how well he's treated. Meanwhile, his actual starters get shipped off to Professor Oak's ranch. Bulbasaur, chilling with the other abandoned Pokemon. Charizard took seasons of development just to be relevant. Squirtle leading a gang of delinquent turtles because that's somehow better than being ignored on a trainer's team. Red from the games is held up as this paragon of trainer virtue. You know what his team is in most appearances? Pikachu, Snorlax, Lapras, Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise. 3 starters, right? Wrong. Those are event Pokemon in most games. Special gifts, not the same as the starter you picked at the beginning. Even the ideal trainer replaces their original starter with a better version. So yeah, being a starter Pokemon sucks. We're the participation trophy of the Pokemon world. The training wheels everyone can't wait to take off. The remember when you didn't know any better Pokemon that trainers laugh about later. But hey, at least we're number 1 in the Pokedex, right? That's something. Even if it just means we're the first ones players see when they're looking for something better to catch. Tomorrow, another batch of new trainers will walk into a professor's lab. They'll look at the 3 of us with wonder and excitement, and we'll smile and act happy, knowing full well we're about to be replaced by the first cool Pokemon they encounter on Route 2. Because that's what starter Pokemon do. We start the journey, but we rarely finish it. But here's the thing, we keep doing it. Every generation we line up in our little Pokeballs, ready to be chosen, ready to be abandoned. Because maybe, just maybe, this trainer will be different. Maybe this one will remember who was there from the beginning. Maybe this one will value loyalty over stats, friendship over meta relevance. We're eternal optimists, us starters. We have to be, because if we gave up hope, what would be left? Just empty Pokeballs and broken dreams. So tomorrow, when that wide-eyed kid points at one of us, we'll give it our all, even though we know how it ends, even though we've seen it 1,000 times before. That's what really sucks about being a starter Pokemon. It's not the abandonment, it's the hope that never quite dies.